Right, so this is one in many webinars, just going real quickly through some things that we've changed, added in the past couple weeks. So as kind of a normal thing, I'll just point out that if you go to this new section, then you'll get to a help article, and we keep that updated as we release changes. So you'll see those inside of here. And then typically we'll do this webinar every other Thursday just to go over some of those changes. Usually we don't hit everything, but we'll hit some of the high points. So with that, we will get started. One other piece of housekeeping. Some of these features or reports might be behind permissions. So if you don't see something that you see me doing here, go to your manage users section and then click edit for the permissions, and then make sure that you've got permissions to those things. So today I think we're talking about some reports under job. And then so the permissions would be in this section. All right. So first we'll start with CLIPitc and then move over to the iPad, and kind of that's going to be the plan of attack for today. So first report is under the customer report section. It's going to be the packages report. So we added that recently. Very new report for us, but this sprint we've added some more filtering for it. So now you can pull information by customer status, contract type. So if it's an installment contract, charged by job or all, you can do that. The installment status, so active or on hold, and then the property status, active or on hold. So this will help people, I think, with their contract renewals. So if you're going through and just checking, let's say your installment customers, you have them expiring, start date, just go way back. So you want to check all of your installments and see which ones are active, on hold, just make sure that you know which ones are ending. If you wanted to use the end date, if you use an end date on your contracts, see which ones are coming to an end this year. And then again, you can pull it by customer status, active or on hold. So if you put all your customers on hold at the end of the season, you can still go through the contracts that you're going to be renewing. So this report is kind of centered around that, finding that information and using it to change stuff inside of your CLIPitc.
So when would you use
out.
this? When would you use this mostly?
Beginning of the season, probably, and end of season, or if you're making some changes to contracts, you just want to make sure that you've got the correct customers set up correctly, or even review your pricing. It can be used as a check to make sure I didn't make mistakes. As kind of a report just to get an idea of where my pricing is on average for my installments. And then definitely at the end of the season, kind of reviewing your contracts. So
right.
Does that answer the question? There might be a couple other places. Do you have a couple in mind?
Well, I always like to go back to the sort of like the initial use or the initial question or wish that somebody had. Like, I want to do, like you say, with the story for you to create that. So the story was, I want to be able to see all my contracts at once so that I can adjust them and make sure everything is consistent and make sure that my pricing is about right. Make sure I haven't charged zero to somebody. Like I see you have a number of seasonal zeros in there. That's always fun. So that was sort of the story behind it, right? Coming up with that. And so now we have it. Somebody asked us for that. And now we have the report with a bunch of different options on how to filter it down.
Yeah, and another big kind of gotcha is the expiration date. So if you have your contract set to expire, then and you think that you switched all of them, but you're not sure, you can just come right to here, say, okay, give me all my active installments. I don't think I've got good data because I've got all of mine set to never expire. But then you could just browse through this column or even sort by this column and then check and make sure that all of the ones that should have been renewed did get renewed. And if you've got an active customer with an installment about to expire, it could be a problem, and you can figure that out or adjust it. So
Right. And this
kind of
helps that you have
kind of a catch problems kind of thing.
right, yeah, and this helps that you have that, especially for the snow plowing, because there are times with snow plowing where one season overlaps the other season, so you can't do yearly. I know we did that years ago with mowing. We thought, oh, we got it all covered, you know, starts in the spring, ends in the fall, and then the snow plower's like, no, it doesn't. Starts in November and ends in February or March, sometimes April or May. But anyway, so yeah, okay.
Yep.
Good.
And this
Thanks.
exports to Excel as well. And then we've also got a cool column called number of jobs. So
Mhm.
just as kind of a thing, you can see which customer has the most number of jobs with you, see what their installment amount is. If you're pushing for full service, I mean, I suppose you could also use this the other way and say, how many customers have just one job with me? Is there an upsell opportunity there? So
Yeah,
I mean, definitely
definitely.
there are creative things you can do with this too. So
Let us know, you guys that are using this, let us know how you use it and how helpful this becomes. So, uh, yeah, great.
yep,
Always more information, right?
yeah, definitely. As long as it's the right information and we make it intuitive to find. So constantly working on that. Another thing that we've done is just when you get your routing, we space it out a little bit more, the routing numbers that we automatically assign. So if you hit save order permanently, we'll assign some auto routing numbers to these. Now those have some more spaces. So if you have Google Maps do it for you, save permanently, and then you want to make some changes by changing around the route numbers, it's a little bit easier to do that now. Just because in the background we're adding some more spaces to those route numbers.
I would give you a little bit of consulting here, Dave. I think your area of service is a little too big.
Yeah, you
You're
think
gonna
so?
waste a lot of time in travel time there. I'm just, you know, it's just my opinion, you know. But
I don't know about that. I mean, I feel like I can handle something in Tijuana and Maryland. I,
and Maryland and Atlanta and Miami.
I'm a large company.
I
One
guess
crew
so.
can one crew
One
can
crew.
do that.
Are
No
you
problem.
putting 5 or 10 guys on a truck?
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely. Load up those trucks.
Load them up.
All right. So the next one I've got is a little change to single pay. So now if you go to single pay, pull up a customer, and you can see this O's here is 734. So I'll go ahead and process a cash payment for $100. And now we haven't left this screen at all, and we've updated that amount without having to refresh the page or anything. So kind of a small change, but something that's helpful just to people's workflow. That was one that was requested. Another one, speaking of workflow, right? In the
Mhm.
job notes, we changed the way that those get saved just a little bit to make it more clear and less likely to have issues. So we've added this save and close button, got rid of the X and got rid of the close.
Yeah.
But if you do make a change and then you don't want to save it, you can just click the undo, click save and close, and you'll get out of the note. So that makes it so that people don't really have the option to put in a note and then just close it. And then it's like,
Yeah, we
oh
were
man,
having that
I
problem.
typed it all out and then I hit close, thought I had saved it, but didn't. So it just kind of, again, kind of streamlines the UI. It makes it more likely that people will do the right thing in saving the note or go ahead and undo it, then close.
Yeah, we had that problem. I remember just a couple weeks ago, a customer was quote, losing all their notes. And what it was, they were hitting the X on it and just closing it out without saving it. So it's nice to have a button that says save it and then yes, okay, it got saved. So that's what it is. We try to make things fast and then it's all about user interface and user experience.
Right, yeah, and I think that's one that had um, that the enhancement was pretty clear, pretty easy to see that this will be better, less likely to have people making mistakes in the office.
Right.
So that's a nice one.
Because of course the software gets blamed.
Yeah,
And the
well,
software doesn't have feelings, so you can blame it. That's okay. We allow that.
definitely. Fix an issue, I think, with the enhanced route sheet order. So when you were printing out an enhanced route sheet, I think the crew and route had an issue with the sort. So that's been solved now. Kind of a small thing there. Fixed a visual issue with the daily grosses report. So that's a report that we added just a couple weeks ago. And then we so updated that. And we also, I think, made this cruise checkbox to have a multiple checks and a check all option. So it's a little bit easier to select multiple crews now on this report. So we'll go back to here. And then we've got the totals now at the bottom. I think that's different than it was in the past. And we've got the dollars per hour, including travel, I think is a average. So that'll give you a good idea of what the guys did. This report kind of shows you what was done for the date range and gives you a fast way to export it to Excel or just view it on screen if that's all you need to do in a nice small kind of summary grid.
That's
And
good.
Yep.
It allows you to pick like cruise number 1, 5, and 10 or something like that, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So we like using this grid checkbox. Just makes things super fast, super easy to say, hey, I want crew 4, 3, 4, and 5. So it's one of those controls that we really like. Gives a lot of flexibility to the user. We made a change that, again, a small fix here, but under activate rounds. So we've got the select by Google Maps. Some people might not actually know about this, but you can do a map selection. And that allows you to just pick an area, connect the dots, and then it'll just select customers inside of that area. So if you want to just activate certain rounds, you can do that. So now I've only got those 2 customers selected. So there was an issue with the Google Maps, and just the overlay wasn't showing quite right. So we got that solved, but that's a feature that I think a lot of people might not even know about. So it's a good one.
Yeah, we had something like
out.
that with Map Point in XE, and I think we transferred that over to Google Maps. I don't remember exactly, but the idea there was that you can do all of round 1 in this one neighborhood. So I can pick I can zoom in to a neighborhood. You're trying to do the whole country, so that's a little bit different. But I can zoom
Yeah,
into a neighborhood and say I want round 1 just from these people this time.
Yep.
So and you could do that for snowplowing as well. If you had an event that didn't cover your whole area, maybe it was only the north side of it, then you could just pick those out, draw a circle around it, or it's not really a circle, but a polygon around it, and that would do it. So this makes it a little more graphical. Where's that? That's under Get Work. Show us again where that comes up.
Under rounds. So you would go to Get Work, click on Activate Rounds. First, select the rounds that you want to do. So the ChemApps rounds, number of days since last service, if that applies to that particular round. I'm just selecting everything in my test copy. And then map selection on the next step. which is
Right.
to select the actual properties that you want to do. There's a map selection option. And then on this one thing that's different than map point, I think, is you can do any kind of shape you want. So
Right.
on map point, I think we're pretty limited. I think just to squares, I believe.
Are you dumping chemicals into the Gulf of Mexico there?
No, Florida, it's close, but
Well, it's the Gulf.
it's a swamp, right? But no,
All right, good.
all the beautiful beaches. All right, I'm gonna switch to iPad now and just show a couple things.
Well, wait a
that-
second. Before you do that,
Yes, sir.
Mike was asking, where do photos from the field show up in the history or in the client?
Sure, I'll cover that. So if you go to a customer, you can go to the history section, then you'll see the job there, and you'll see job pictures right under
Cool.
that.
There
Yep.
it is. Mike, got you covered.
Gotcha.
All right.
Covered.
Just
right.
before you left CLIPitc.
Yeah.
The iPad.
Yep. I'm going to switch my screen over. Let me know if you can see the iPad.
We can.
Okay, perfect. All right. So on the iPad, one thing that we've done pretty recently is the split screen for iPad. So if you are in the market for a tablet, I definitely recommend going with Apple's iPad devices. There really isn't a great Android tablet out there, and there really hasn't been for quite a few years. Apple really makes the best stuff when it comes to tablets. I'm definitely an Android guy when it comes to my phone. I like the control. I like to be able to change things. But when it comes to a tablet device, Apple's definitely the winner on there. So we've got split screen views on time clock, on your to-do section, on your daily work section. So you can select. Split screen just means we've got one side kind of for selection, and then on the other side we're showing the details. So you can quickly flip through a customer, switch between customers. And then under the customers section, there's the menu I was talking about. Yep,
yeah.
In the top left corner, that menu will let you get to the customer section or the daily section. So I'll go ahead and open up a customer. There's a search box at the top, probably going a little fast. There's a search box at the top to select different customers. I'll go ahead and click this customer. And then under here, I've got the details for the customer, property information, and packages for this customer. The to-dos, again, in a nice split screen section. I think I've got a to-do under this guy. Yep. There we go, the to-dos, and then a nice tabbed interface on top. Got our estimates, so you can create estimates here. See which services are on the estimate, and then you've got the options. All of the options and stuff on here are very similar to the CLIPitc.com options and stuff. So they're just in a little bit different places to make it more intuitive on a tablet like this. So we can add services, send an estimate directly to a customer, add a signature. In the future, we've actually, it's already on this one. So we've got the ability to sign right on the iPad if you're there with the customer in the field. And then an invoice section where you can kind of see the history of invoices that you've sent to a customer. You can collect a payment from here. So add a payment button in the lower left, add a charge button.
So to add a charge, you would use that like the situation we were having with Joe, where he's used to the old clip where you could hit T for intertransaction when you're recording the work. But you're saying that if your guys are using the tablet, they're out there, and let's say you have a charge for bagging for bags or something like that, $5 per bag or something, they'd be able to add that charge right there.
Yes. Yep.
And then you're done. That way the office is not bothered with it.
Yeah, and you can even go a step further. So after they complete a job, we've got this option here to invoice jobs. So if it's the like an account manager or something in the field, or even the business owner in the field, you can go ahead and create an invoice right on the iPad. So you don't have to go back and like generate invoices in CLIPitc. You can create it in the iPad and then collect payment in the field. So a lot of your functions are going to be able to be done through the app, and we're adding some stuff. Pretty soon you're going to see jobs, actually maybe even tomorrow, but we're probably not going to cover that until the next one, but you're going to see a lot of job information can be changed inside of the app. So that'll be pretty cool. Another thing that I should point out is if your guys have permission, if they're, this is, again, I'm back at daily work, just kind of recording my jobs, pretending I'm in the field. If your guys have permission, they can go to the details section, and we've added now a link for the to get right to the customer's account. So if I click this, it's going to bring me right over to the customer's account. Again, I can go to invoices, like add my charge, do stuff here. I've got that short link to send me right to the customer's account.
So there's kind of a change in habit / philosophy, if you will, in that with CLIPXE and the server-based versions of Clip going all the way back to DOS, there was a lot of stuff you could do on the record work screen. A lot of hotkeys that took you to different things and allowed you to do a bunch of stuff, and kind of changed all that because we would rather get that information mobile while they're in the field, real time as it's happening. And because if you're in ITC, you're in the cloud, so that everything's talking to everything, and you can do that very easily. So I think one of the things that we've had a little bit of a problem with is people going from XE up into ITC have said, where are all my hotkeys? Why can't I use my hotkeys like I'm used to? And part of it is, like I said, it's sort of a change in philosophy. Let's not put that much work on the office. Let's put the work back to be done once. So you're recording it once, still your guys writing it down on the route sheet and then coming back to the office and being entered in at that point. The other thing is that we've known for 30 years, ever since I started doing this, the most valuable time that a lawn maintenance company has to do office work is from the time the last crew comes back to the time the first crew goes out the next morning. Those are brutal hours, terrible. You're talking about somebody waiting for that last crew to come in. I remember when I did it, I would be waiting until the very, until it was really late and everything before I would be able to record and post and close it all out. So with this, we're expecting you to have tablets for your guys so that they can enter that information in real time when it's happening. Then it's out of there. They're not losing it. They're not losing the route sheets. They're not losing the note, the post-it note. Everything is being taken care of right away. And you even have the automatic posting where it'll post the work, at least do a preliminary post for you. So it's kind of a different way of doing it, but we're trying to eliminate as much as we can office work and try to get this workflow to run as smoothly and as quickly as possible through the system. So anyway.
Yeah. And the other thing to point out, I think, is some things you'll trust your guys to do, some things you don't want them to do. So you've got permissions. So if there's somebody that you trust to do kind of office field stuff, you can give them full permissions. Some of your other foremen maybe just limit their permissions if you need to, or just depending on how you guys do business. Everybody does things a little differently. Some people, run their office in the field. For them, this kind of stuff is perfect. Some people have estimators running in the field. For them, a lot of these customer functions are extremely useful. So your guy can go ahead and set up a customer, set up jobs while he's out in the field talking to that customer. So that's perfect for a lot of situations, a lot of scenarios. The next thing that I kind of wanted to talk about is just dark mode. Looks like I gotta hop over to find my settings. Like I said, I'm more of an Android guy, so Hang with me just a sec. I grab my dark mode setting. So now if we switch back over, you can do CLIPitc on iOS devices in dark mode. This is not for Android, just for Apple stuff. So now you can see everything's got that dark mode. So if you're working in the dark, if you like to cut grass at night, or just you want the different contrasts to be a little bit easier on the eyes.
Well, now
We've got you covered.
snow plowing often happens at night.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
does parking lot maintenance. So
yeah, there are situations where it is a lot more useful, I think.
you don't want to have that bright thing shining in your eyes when you're trying to drive a snow plowing truck. You
Yep.
have enough problems with that.
Yep.
There's a question here about what are the main issues with Android tablets? I know we say that the tablets are better if you get them Apple, but I'm sure there's people out there that hate Apple. So what kind of problems are they going to encounter if they don't follow our advice?
I mean, you can definitely run CLIPitc on a Android tablet, so that's not really a problem. The generalization that I threw out there is just the hardware that people are making for Android is not all that great. So you can find some really bad Android tablets built by even Samsung. Some of the ones that I've seen just have like low specs, really, really old versions of the operating system for Android. And then the split screen capabilities that Android offers to developers and stuff has never been all that great. So the quality of applications that you get for Android tablets are not going to be as good as the Apple stuff. What Apple's really good at doing is kind of keeping things really good. The experience is really good because they build their own tablets. So you can't go get a Samsung Apple tablet. It isn't made. Only Apple makes those. So they kind of make sure that they have good like computers running inside of the tablets, like good memory. Those kind of things are covered. And then that they can keep updating the tablet when they release new versions of their operating system. So the whole experience is just way better. And I've personally owned like some Android tablets, and I've owned some iPad tablets and stuff. And I definitely, if you're in the market for a tablet, definitely think about grabbing an Apple tablet, even if you use Android phones. Again, I love Android phones, and I've used both for like a couple years at least each. And I would much rather have a good Android phone. But again, it's a little bit harder to find one that's good. Google makes one called Pixel, and they produce that and they make the operating system. So those ones are almost always good, those phones. But you can find some really bad phones that have super old versions of Android, can't update, and don't have very good computers or memory or storage or stuff like that. The specs just aren't very good.
You said phone, but you mean pads, right?
Well, there I'm talking about phones.
Phones, yeah. We had
it's much easier to find a good Android phone than it is to find a good Android tablet. If you're just not a techie person and you're not sure what to get, you're not really stuck to one or the other, you just want something easy, go with Apple all day.
You're not going to.
Apple. If you like tinkering and stuff, go find a good Android, but you need to know kind of how to find a good Android. You know, like the Pixel devices are almost always good, but Google doesn't even actually. Google Pixel, I don't think they really even offer a good tablet under like $1,000 or something. I think Google has decided not to even release a tablet of their own for Android.
Yeah, I'm like you. I have a Samsung phone, and I've got an iPad that I use, and I use them both quite extensively. And we also had that situation. Remember the old time customer in the 300s up in Michigan, and just had the cheap tablets that they got from Verizon or something when they signed up, and we had no end of problems. There were all kinds of problems, and it wasn't happening to us over here. It became a huge issue. It went over 6-8 weeks trying to figure this thing out. Finally, we went to the hardware and we bought one of their really cheap tablets, and we ran it, and it was giving us problems. It was not working. The memory was getting erased. Stuff was not downloading. It was just not good. So
Yeah, and the main problems there were around the actual hardware that was shipped and how old the version of Android was.
right.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever owned an Android tablet, Dave Senior, or always iPad?
Long time ago, but lately, no, I haven't.
Okay.
Just iPad. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can say, I mean, about the experience, like Androids for tablets, just stay away from it. And it's harder for developers to make a good Android tablet app, and it's also hard to find a good Android tablet in general. So
Now, Mike here says that the Samsung S6 and the A7 seem to work well for him.
yeah, so those are phones, actually, I believe. I think the S series, I think, are phones. S6, let me double check that.
S6 and A7.
You're right, Dave.
Yeah, so the S6 is a phone, and actually I've got one of their S series phones. That's my main personal phone, and that's been great. No issues there. But I have owned, I think, a Samsung tablet, and it was not that great. Not as good of an experience for sure.
Okay, he says the S6 is a 10.7 inch tablet. So,
okay, maybe we've got something mixed up there.
good.
Yeah.
If you're having really good results with something using it with Clip, then feel free to go to the Facebook page and post it and say, hey, this is working for me. Love to have that.
Yeah.
The more we share with each other, the better. We can't test everything that's out there, but if we have to give a recommendation, that's where we fall.
Yeah, and the stuff that I can build with developers, the stuff that we can build the best is going to be on iPad. So if you want like the best CLIPitc app experience that you can get, like iPad's where it's at, right? But yeah, we still support on Android tablets and stuff, but the experience isn't going to be quite as nice. So
all right. Now you had a surprise for us, Dave.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. One last thing before
you're going to bring out some memory here.
Almost literally.
Oh, what is that?
Can you see that?
We can see it.
This is the new CLIPitc.
No.
This is where we're going. Actually, if we could get a gigawatt? If we could get a gigawatt and a DeLorean and a flux capacitor, we could actually go to this.
Yeah. So this is Clip version 3.24. So Clip's been around for a while.
Wait, all we see is your DOS prompt.
Okay. Hang on, and I'll switch. I think I probably got the wrong DOS box share.
Somebody got me I'll let him in. Oh, look at that. Ah,
got it.
That brings back some memories.
All right.
There we go.
Yeah, so just kind of a fun thing from our past. This was the original version of Clip, and you would run it through the DOS prompt. We found some old disks and managed to get it running just for fun. You could inside of here you could
alphabetical list. Let's do an alphabetical list of customers. You had an L.
Yep.
Hit L there, and then AL.
AL, and that'll give us our list.
And I had a question.
Why not?
Oh, it goes straight to the printer. It doesn't even go to the screen.
Yep.
continuous form paper too. When was the last time we saw that? Anyway, this brought back a lot of memories. This was the version of Clip that I was programming when Davey was born. So,
Yeah, good times. I think,
uh,
and just to talk about technology, I think one thing that's changed a lot is we've gone from printing everything. Like in this version, we would print everything and then you'd have like a list in your hands.
yeah.
To working on screen and with mobile apps and stuff. So now it's like our paper can do stuff. If you've got a tablet or a phone, you can do all kinds of stuff.
Do you guys know how fast this clip would run right now?
Do you see how fast the cursor is blinking?
It used to take 5 minutes to just do one blink.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just kind
Anyway.
of a fun thing to see where we came from. We came from a landscape company trying to solve their own problems for billing and scheduling and routing. And this was their initial version, basically. Their initial
Actually, the
version
initial
for
version
sale,
was
I think.
earlier than that. This was the first one for sale. Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
this is escape to exit. No. Yeah, it wasn't all that user friendly. No. Hit no. So you can't even get
Yeah,
out of
but
it.
yeah, I got it now. I'm not familiar. But yeah, so we moved from paper to now interactive paper. So your guys can be recording jobs while you're doing other stuff in the field or in the office, taking sales calls and stuff like that. Your guys can be getting the information that you need and getting you those dollar per hour numbers and stuff without you having to go through at the end of each day, fill in all the information. And the more that you can help your guys, empower your guys to do that kind of stuff, the better. As much as you can, delegate those tasks, automate those tasks. And yeah, I mean, that's why we exist, is to help you guys be more profitable and track the things that matter and
Yeah.
improve those numbers constantly. So, yep.
Just like I was saying before, and I'll keep on repeating that the less time you spend in the office and the more automated you get, the better off you're going to be. If we can move, I did this study a long time ago and I've updated it recently, but if you can move just $1 from overhead into productivity, it can increase your profit by, I think I figured it out to be like 60 cents or something like that. It's kind of crazy. And that is one of the reasons, and yeah, you're going to hear me say it again, but that's one of the reasons why we're talking about this CLIPitc, because we want this whole thing to be automated from start to finish. We want a business is made up. I like to use the two boxes. A business is made up of customers that are willing to pay for a product or service, and employees that are willing to do that product or service for pay. And the business is just a little tiny thing that sits in between them and keeps things moving back and forth. And I think the more you think about your business like that, the more automated you can get it. You can get it where the guys actually enter the information while they're out there in the field so that you don't have to do it in the office. And then you get it where the customers can actually pay you while you're sleeping in your bed. That just creates an automation where all you spend your time not on all this book work, not on the paperwork. You spend your time on growing your business and making it work even better and better and better. And so we push that hard, and we are pushing CLIPitc. You guys know it. We're pushing CLIPitc pretty hard, but it's because we really think that this is the way, that this is the next step in automation. The next step in your workflow, the next step in automation is to getting the customers to be able to pay straight through the website, pay their invoices, and everything just happens. And all you have to deal with are the exceptions, the things when they don't pay or they're late or the credit card doesn't go through or something like that. We're about to send out, right, Jacob? We're about to send out an email where it'll have more of that math in it. I like math. I enjoy math, which is kind of crazy because I was just scared of it when I was in college. But I love it because it finds truth. It's not my truth or your truth. It is truth. And it finds truth, and it can give us, by looking at the math and everything, you can see stuff. So another thing, just to let you know, another thing that we're pushing hard on, and we always have been, is the dollars per man hour. But we're actually going to push even harder on that in the next couple of weeks. you will see a lot more of that coming out. So watch out for it. How many hours? Okay, so we did 2 weeks, basically a half a month, right? Since we did this last. So how many programming hours are going into every 2 weeks, Dave? Do you have a, I know I see the invoices from our programmers and stuff, but do you have any idea how much that is?
What's that? How many hours are going in?
Yeah,
you're
how many
saying?
programming hours do you think go into every 2 weeks? So we're updating this every 2 weeks. Caught you off guard, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like 400 hours or something.
Yeah, 400 man hours.
That's a guess, yeah. But
Programming is
right around there.
so time consuming. It's amazing how time consuming it is. And they invent tools that make it faster, but then you spend more time doing it anyway, and then everything has to be just right and just perfect. I wrote some internal software and handed it over to Jacob, and I said, okay, here, you run it. Immediately we had problems because it wasn't the same environment. It was a different, it's like, oh yeah,
Yep.
back to that.
Yeah.
So
And on my side, Microsoft Build Conference for developers has come in and they're announcing all the new stuff. So I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, new tools to solve problems and stuff. Yeah, it's great for us. Like we're always building our toolkit, and hopefully we've got better and better ways to make good software, make the best software. So
yep. Well, that's our job. Our job is to help you all run your businesses and run them successfully. So we thank you for that. And hopefully, like I said before, we're going to have more and more contact with you and keep these types of things going. We like to be available for questions, comments, and everything else. And we're here to help. That's what we're here for. Your success is our passion. And that really is. So hopefully we can continue to do that. Thank you very much for it. And thanks for listening to this. You have any parting comments, Dave or Jacob?
Only comment I have is a recording of the webinar will be on our YouTube channel. So if you came in late, want to see something again, check us out on YouTube. If you search Clip Software, we're the first one that pops up. So check it out.
Okay, everybody. Thanks a lot and have a wonderful day. We will be talking to you, if not before, we'll talk to you in 2 weeks from now.
Guys, thank you so much for watching our video. If you have any questions at all, feel free to let us know. Comment down below, shoot us an email at support@clip.com, or you can always give us a call at 1-800-635-8485. Thanks so much. Your success is our passion.